In this session, we shall now start with gypsum products. See, gypsum is basically the bread and butter of your dental clinic. You always will have either plaster of Paris or dental stone or dye stone, and you'll always be pouring cast no matter what you do. So, having a basic understanding of gypsum is kind of important for you, right? Products of gypsum are basically used in all forms of dentistry. Gypsum was basically discovered in the city of Paris. That is the most logical explanation why a gypsum product, a type of gypsum product is called plaster of Paris, right? Uh, See, basically, the mineral gypsum can be given by the chemical formula CaSO4 2H2O. 2H2O. So remember, whenever you write gypsum product, the formula for this is going to be CaSO4 2H2O, right? So I said that earlier because you'll also hear about calcium sulfate hemihydrate and dihydrate. I don't want to confuse. So the gypsum raw product will be CaSO4 2H2O. Coming back to the topic, we have various applications. The main application of gypsum products are to pour impressions of the mouth and the face. Various types of plasters can be used to make casts, models, dyes. They can even be used as investment materials also. The major thing that you will be using plaster of Paris products is for making your diagnostic casts, your master casts, etc. Also, you will be using plaster of Paris to mount the jaws, the dental stone casts onto an articulator. It can also be used for bite registration and also as investment materials for refractory purposes. Therefore, the major functions or indications will be for A, to make impressions of the mouth and face, to make molds or casts for various purposes, to attach the cast to an articulator, then for bite registration, and then for dental investments. These are the major indications of gypsum products. Gypsum can be supplied in various versions. Usually we buy it in bags or sacks, right? You can also get medium amount of gypsum which is in plastic containers, or you can get it in pre-weighed sachets. And if you have it, if you're using it for a if your clinic has so much of things going, you can even buy in big uh, tins, big tins that are also available. Now, the classification of gypsum product. As usual, however, I've been taking this class, I have always started with the ISO system of classification, and for gypsum, it is 6873 given in the year 2013. 6873 given in the year 2013. According to this, you have five types of dental gypsum products. You have type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, and type 5 gypsum products. So this is called, type 1 is called dental plaster, and this is used as impression. This is used for impression material, therefore this was called impression plaster. Type 2 is also called dental plaster, but this is affectionately called our plaster of Paris. And there are two types in type 2. You have class 1 and class 2. Class 1 POP is used for mounting, and class 2 is used to make models for diagnostic casts. Type 3 is called dental stone, and you can make models with this. Type 4 and type 5 are also called dental stone, but they have a few minor differences between them. These dental stone are both used for dye related purposes. This is high strength, low expansion material, whereas the other type of dental stone is high strength, high expansion dental materials. Therefore, according to ISO classification number 6873 from the year 2013, five types of dental stone are present. One, two, three, four, five. One is an impression plaster which is used for impression making purposes. Two is what you call dental plaster, which is affectionately called POP, plaster of Paris. There is a class 1 and a class 2. The class 1 is used for mounting on an articulator. Class 2 is used for making diagnostic models. The type 3 is called dental stone, which is used for models. Type 4 and type 5 are dye related dental stone. The type 4 is high strength, low expansion, and the fifth one is high strength, high expansion. I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. Let me talk to you about each dental stone product. A brief introduction regarding each dental stone product. The first one, what did I say? It is called dental plaster, which was used for taking impression. Okay, it basically was the first dental plaster that was discovered in terms of gypsum products, right? Now, it was initially used by people to take impressions of the oral cavities. Now, the thing is, impression plaster would go and it would become rigid. It would be a muco-compressive impression material. And the thing is, if there was an undercut that was present, the gypsum product will go and lock into the undercut, and it will be very difficult for the doctor to take it out of the patient's oral cavity. At that problem, what will happen? You will have to break the plaster of Paris within the undercut, and then only it will be able to come out of the oral cavity. Therefore, this material was discarded for use. Right? Currently, the only possible use of impression related dental plaster is for bite registration. The only the thing is bite registration, right? So sometimes you can use it for that. We use waxes and elastomerics for it right now in our labs, but there is a use where you can use it for dental registration. Therefore, when it comes to answer writing purposes, you have to give this small brief history, then give the uses. The uses were primarily to make impressions of complete denture and maxillofacial processes patients, and as a bite registration material. Yes. So, what was the composition of dental plaster? So, usually dental plaster would contain your usual plaster, which is calcium sulfate dihydrate. It would contain potassium sulfate, borax, and various coloring and flavoring agents. Okay, this is just for historical perspective. It is not very important in your day-to-day life, but when you write an answer, you need it for completion. So make sure you write at least these points in your exam paper. Now we come on to the important points. You have type 2. This is called dental plaster, also called plaster of Paris, and it can be used for making models, and it can be used for mounting onto a articulator. See, ISO 6873, I told you, you have two classifications, class 1 and class 2. Class 1 was used for mounting and class 2 was used for models. So, what are the uses? You can use it to make study casts or model. Primary use is that. Then you can use it to make a mold for curing the complete denture. When you use heat cure resins and all, you can use POP as a cast for your making your special trays or your denture bases. Then it can be used for mounting casts on articulators. Casts on articulators. And the thing is, you can even use it for study. You can use it for studies and diagnostics. You can use it to mark things, understand the basic shape and layout of the oral cavity, and explain it to the patient. You do not have to waste more money buying more expensive dental stone products for this. That's what plasters are used for. Its basic composition is beta hemihydrate. Beta hemihydrate. Right? We will come to this setting thing in just a few minutes, but understand this is what type 2 is all about. Then we come to type 3. Type 3 is basically your dental stone, correct? Type 3 is basically your dental stone. It is used to make master casts or molds. Master casts or molds. This is made up of alpha hemihydrate. It also contains potassium sulfate and borax. Potassium sulfate acts as an accelerator and borax acts as a retarder. Okay, some dental stone may contain a little bit of beta hemihydrate to provide a smooth consistency to the particular mix. See, a stone with proper quantities of accelerator and retarder is called a balanced setting stone. This is also important. So please understand what is called balanced stone. Balanced stone is a stone with a setting time that is modified by an equal mixture of accelerators and retarders. They both complement each other. Typical accelerators are like your potassium sulfate. There is something called sodium tartarate that is called Rochelle's salt. Rochelle's salt. ROCHELLE. Rochelle's salts. Typical retarders include sodium citrate and sodium tetraborate, also called borax, right? Type 4 dental stone basically consists of the stone, right? And they are the high strength, low expansion, high strength, low expansion dental stone. This is what we use day to day for fabricating casts and dies. We can incorporate it to electroform. We can use it for orthodontic study models, etc. Right? So this is what type 4 is all about. Type 5 is high strength, high expansion. High strength, high expansion. This is used specifically for electroplating and for making dies with increased expansion. Dies with increased expansion. This was just a brief introduction. Explanations regarding each important section will be taken in the coming sessions.